Now, before D-Rock ended up trying to do his own thing with 1200, back in the day, he used to run with Fat Sean from N-Block. And since the war between ATB and the Goodfellas kicked off, they ended up shooting at one of the youngest from 1200. And from that day on forward, you know, D-Rock got a little ego problem and shit, so he made it evident that he did not want to be clicked up with ATB. So from that point on, I guess, he was just going to do his own thing with his young niggas on his block. Now, D-Rock decided it was time for 1200 to put in some work. So he sent PJ and Lil Don over there to go shoot at Max Will from the Goodfellas. And then that nigga PJ ended up getting put in the wheelchair. Now, of course, they ain't take no big loss because he ain't lose nobody yet. But it still made them niggas look a little bit crazy because they was supposed to slide, and then that boy ended up getting put in the wheelchair, son. So after PJ got hit in that drill, D-Rock was gonna have to make sure that he applied more pressure so they could get their get back. Now, Clayway Mitch, that's a whole other nigga from the other side of the bridge. That nigga be flashing out doing his own thing and shit. But he had got wind that D-Rock and Fat Sean used to run together back in the day. But Mitch had to let D-Rock know if he was fucking with ATB, it was best for him to stay out the way because they was hitting anything next to him. But D-Rock had to let Mitch know that he wasn't fucking with ATB right now and they ain't got no smoke with each other. And just a couple days later after PJ got shot, 1200 ended up taking a loss again. Y'all remember the nigga who was with PJ on the day he got shot, right? Lil Don, the nigga who was shooting at Maxwell with PJ? Well, yeah, this nigga ended up getting killed behind some shit that Lil E did. Earlier that day, that nigga Lil E ended up shooting at T-Man, and T-Man wanted to get some get back. And the nigga Frankie that's running shit from the Goodfellas had to drop on Lil Don and got him killed. This right here would actually be the first loss that 1200 took, other than when PJ got shot. But this would be the actual first dead body that got dropped. Now, since 1200 took their first official loss, they would have to get some get back. And the first nigga that had tried to get some get back was Brady. So he ended up catching John from the Goodfellas at a store trying to collect some money. He ended up shooting that nigga right in the face. I'm talking about bow, bow. Had that nigga Wooski talking in the hospital. Now, after this shooting, of course he'd get a lot of respect from all the guys of 1200, especially D-Rock. Now, just a day later, Brady ended up getting snatched up by the cops. Later that day, D-Rock ended up talking to Brady in jail. And D-Rock promised him that he was going to get him a lawyer and put some money on his books. But lo and behold, that shit did not happen. Stupid ass. So, of course, Brady had told 1200 Shaw about everything. And Shaw wasn't rocking with that shit. Because D-Rock the nigga with all the drip and shit. And he ain't even got no money to put on the nigga books. Let alone a fucking $300 lawyer. So how that look? So later on, you know how this nigga D-Rock do. He go on his rant talking about some niggas ain't putting in work. Hey, Shaw, little bitch, you gotta put in some work, you heard me? But Shaw not trying to hear none of that shit. He ended up telling the nigga about himself, and D-Rock told him to get off the block. He was trying to defuse the situation, but D-Rock said, fuck it. If he want to get loud, let him go. And from that point on, D-Rock was down one soldier. One of his soldiers was already locked up, and he lost that soldier too. So now all he had was Heme. And fuck, what the hell Heme gonna do? That bit dusty and musty, you heard me? Now, D-Rock and Heme is about to go in the drill and shoot at Maxwell. I'm talking about they got the blowing at that bitch. I mean, that nigga Heme was nowhere to be found. I guess he started ducking somewhere some shit. Man, I'm talking about these niggas is getting active, son. I'm talking about that bitch had a Glock. He wasn't doing nothing. But that boy D-Rock had a whole Uzi. He was straight shooting shit out here. And the next thing you know, this nigga Heme just left him. Now after all the shooting was going on, he found out Heme left. Nigga dumb. A couple days later, Mitch from Clayway ended up hitting D-Rock's phone. And he told that nigga D-Rock that he had a proposition for him. He said if he could give him the drop on Lil E, then he'll help him out finding Heme. And to D-Rock knowledge, that shit wasn't a problem at all. So them niggas had set up a whole little plan. D-Rock was gonna call Lil E and tell him he had to meet him somewhere in the train station. And then shit, I guess, Mitch was gonna get a drop to D-Rock on where Heme was staying at. That nigga D-Rock finally called up to Heme. He had that nigga doing the jazz hands. I'm talking about the nigga was damn there about to shake out his fucking boots. Shit, I would have been shaking out my boots too. That nigga living like that, stay clutching, he don't give a fuck. He a smacking nigga grandma, he don't care. But anyways, that nigga D-Rock get to asking him questions on why he left. He telling D-Rock don't shoot him, I gotta take care of my grandma and a whole bunch of other shit. But D-Rock can give a fuck. Shot that nigga right in the face the first time, and then start shooting the nigga in the head right after. And after that, I guess he was all alone in the game, and he have nobody but himself. So after the shooting, of course he had to get out of the city. I don't know where the fuck that nigga going, but I guess he gonna be back someday. But shit, we'll never know. I wanna thank y'all for watching. Episodes coming every day. We gonna post every day. I wanna thank y'all for giving me the 1.35. And yeah, we just gonna keep on posting.